You're not gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe?
What you talking about, Will?
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Did I do that?
Flag on the play. Flag on the play.
He's on mute.
Flag on the play.
Man, I do
Out
it.
the gate.
And everybody that watches know that I do that every single time.
Personal foul. Tay Boy Fresh. Talking while on.
Yeah, like I said before we were backstage, before we came on, I told you guys hit your mute button. You obviously didn't because I heard some rattling going on in the background. Steven, probably.
Steven.
But yeah, man, I want to thank everybody for tapping into the Know It Alls channel. Thanks for checking us out on another edition of Just a Guy and Two Geniuses, as we call it JAG2G, where we typically have discussions around the game, not about the game. We like to talk about a multitude of topics and things that are going on, not the scoreboard, not the stats, not that stuff, but everything that surrounds the solar system of the game, right? So today I'm here with Steven and Rory. I'll go to them in just a second. Just want to let you know what we're talking about. The World Cup is coming to the Americas this summer in June. Actually, this spring, because summer doesn't start till June 21st and the World Cup begins June 11th. So yeah, but it's coming to the Americas, and we're here to talk about with the current situation around the world with not just the United States, different countries, different conflicts, all those things like that. You know, the World Cup is coming, but will the world come to the World Cup? So with that being said, as we're going to talk about, I'm going to go to the fellas. I'm going to go to Steven first today. Steven, what's up, man? How you doing? How's your week been?
Doing all right. Actually, pretty decent week. Very productive. I am moving again, so there's a bunch of boxes on the opposite side of this frame. But yeah, that's really what I've been up to. I've been really focused on moving. I have a bunch of stuff I have to do at the new place. Like I have to buy appliances, a couple of appliances and stuff like that, stuff I've never done before. So I've called in the OGs to help me not make terrible money mistakes. So
well, yeah, that's what happens when you move from an apartment to a house.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You guys start getting stuff like refrigerators and ovens and dishwashers and stuff, right?
And dryers.
Yeah, it's the washer and dryer. The washer and dryer is really, really, really old. And I want to get one with a better venting infiltration system, because the thing, I'm gonna have to run it myself to the door. So I want it to be good. I want it to, not be old and stuff. So to do that, I have to get a new toilet. There's some stuff that has to come down. There's some rooms that have mirrors all around them. Like the entire room has mirrors all around them. And I think 25-year-old me would have been like, yeah, these mirrors are staying. But I think now I'm like, I don't want to see myself. It's a lot of,
I don't think it's about seeing you. I think it's about seeing.
Nah, that 39-year-old midriff, we trying to hide that. Nah, you got.
Hey man, we are who we are. If I worried about a midriff, man, mine is 53. I ain't worried about it.
Hey, so
I'm out there on the beach and around the pool with shirtless, man. I know some jokers trying to cover up, wear t-shirts and tank tops. No, I'm fully out here, man.
I guess that's when I hit the beach, I be letting the gut hang out. I be like, yeah, wine shirt, ladies. You just love it or just look away. You be all right.
Rory, what's up with you, man? How you doing this week, bro? I know you're proud of your Miami University Red Hawks.
The Red Hawks, yeah, that is correct. Yeah, they are.
St. John's is the Red Storm. That's another conversation. Well, I mean, for another day. But what do we think about these politically incorrect names that once were perceived, and well, now with the current administration too, that guy talked about bringing some of the names back and stuff.
Let's take steps backwards. Let's do that, you guys.
Oh well, that's been the narrative the entire time. That's the whole "Make America Great Again." Let's take America back to how it used to be. John Wayne. That's what that's all about. You know what I mean? But besides all that, man, Rory, how's your week going, man? You got to be proud of your basketball team. I They're 30-0, but I heard they have to win their tournament to make the tournament in March Madness.
That's the big debate. That's the big debate. But
that is crazy.
No, I get it. I get it.
What? You get it?
Strength of schedule. I'm not going to argue against that. That's true.
Right. It's real hard to go 30-0, man. You got to give them props. Like,
yes, no one's saying otherwise. I'm just saying that the strength of the schedule is not the best, and it's not their fault though. Teams were ducking them because they were. I think last year they were 25-9. They had almost 90% returning, and teams saw that they were like, "Yeah, we're good. We ain't playing them." So I mean, you have to understand. I mean, I understand people are going to duck you. I mean, especially if you're. I mean, imagine that 25-9 with sophomores and juniors, almost all your teams coming back. No one wants to play you.
That was the record last year, 25-9.
Yeah, somewhere around there, and they were really good. And they lost some tight ones last year, and the same thing happened this year. Like I call them the cardiac kids because they pull them out. And I think it's that veteran leadership, and as a result, here they are. I mean, they're undefeated. They're gonna have to, but I think they're gonna get an at-large bid for sure. And if they win the MAC, they're gonna get seeded for sure. I mean, right now they're ranked 19th in the country. 19th. I mean, I think that's good enough to make the tournament.
That's what I'm about to say. How is 19th not an auto? How do you not just get an at-large bid at 19?
Because some conferences get they get the entire conference gets to go. I mean,
or like even at the way 30, it goes. There should just be an at-large bid for an undefeated team because it doesn't happen that frequently. You don't just win all your basketball games. That doesn't.
You don't change the criteria. You know what I mean? And if that's the case, you might have teams who actually do pick on purpose
pick a week
schedule.
Yeah,
and then they all might get that's I get that too. I get it too. But Miami's is not the case. I mean, Miami once again, the coaches were calling teams and teams like, nah, man, lose my number. They were they were ducking them left and right. So that's it.
The Big Ten welcomes everybody with open arms, and I'm sure that they'll be invited too if they continue to be great at basketball. There'll be a Big Ten team within a couple.
I mean, I know they're gonna punish them no matter what. They're gonna throw them in Arizona's bracket somehow. You know what I mean? They can be like, oh,
what are we talking about? The Big Ten?
No, I was just joking that the Big Ten is just very accepting of people. They're massive now, and generally all good. If you're good at any sport, you can join the Big Ten. That's what I'm saying.
They use really, really good academic criteria. Some schools they wouldn't even accept. I mean, really, they're looking for academic institutions that
with great sports.
Yeah, with
good sports.
Yeah, no, definitely that. Yeah.
And then sometimes you don't have to be good at sports because Maryland's not good at sports.
I mean, hence Northwestern. Northwestern's been there forever.
Maryland was the academic. Maryland was the academic side because Maryland's terrible at every.
But Maryland, when they got introduced into the Big Ten, Maryland was starting to be good at football. They're traditionally good at basketball. ACC powerhouse.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. And I've seen win one championship, but they've been a two. Yeah.
And because I think they just won in 2001 with Juan Dixon.
Yeah, and then they lost. Grievous and them lost.
Yeah. But no, I think as far as that goes, though, I mean, and all conferences are doing that. We're about to just have probably two really big power conferences. It's about increasing your footprint, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and when Maryland was welcome to the Big Ten wanted a footprint in the Mid-Atlantic region. What better school than Maryland? I mean, Rutgers, Rory State School is the state university in New Jersey. I mean, so you go to New Jersey, you get that market. You're not going to get Syracuse or St. John's, any of those schools up there. I mean, but Rutgers worked. I mean, so there's talk. How far south does the Big Ten go? There's more time.
I think it. Maryland is further. As far south as they go, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is, but they're looking to expand.
But if you talk about what is it, UCLA? It's part of it.
Oh yeah, I know how far west they go. They go up to Washington State.
No, but I'm saying as in wet and it's about southern.
Not
region.
Washington State University, Washington the state, the University of Washington.
But UCLA is pretty far south.
Southernness.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
I know you meant southern region.
Yeah. But they're looking to potentially. I don't think Florida State was a school that they wanted because of academics. But that's a whole other discussion.
Yeah. Interesting conversation for later.
We can certainly talk about that. But yeah, man. So we're gonna get into the World Cup and the fact that it's being hosted by the Americas. The games will be played.
The North Americas.
The North Americas, yeah. Yeah. Canada, United States, and Mexico. Mexico. Is that how it's enunciated by?
I just say that. Some of my students are from Mexico, but I go Mexico. They go. they laugh at me. I don't know if I'm saying it right. I have no clue. You have to verify that.
So you've taught over the spectrum of a diverse, eclectic ethnicity group. I know when you were in Baltimore, you were teaching predominantly African American students.
I think I've done the whole gamut at this point. I mean, I haven't had though predominantly Asian. There you go. That's gonna be the next. You go as far south as UCLA. You'll get them. Go to California, teaching like Irvine. That'd be a next.
Leave Irving, go to Irvine.
Yeah, go to Irvine and see what happens.
But
the whole gamut.
We're here to talk about the World Cup, like I said, and man, I mean, which one of you guys want to start off the discussion and propose a question or however we want to get this thing kicked off, man? We're here for the discussion, so let's just talk. Who wants to kick it off? Dr. Evil can start. I mean, is that Steven?
Is that me? But Dr. Evil is bald, so I was confused because it could be you too, because he's bald.
You have the cat. You have the cat.
Okay. Well, yeah.
You may go, Dr. Evil. You may start it up.
Well, I think what Kevin described, the interesting situation around the World Cup. I think to me, one of the more striking things is that there aren't that many players like taking a political stance, especially with soccer being extremely popular in a lot of Hispanic countries, and considering our stance against specifically immigrants, U.S. immigrants of Hispanic origin. I'm kind of shocked that there's no big like coalition of players or even countries that are taking a stance. Most people are just going to come and play. I guess, it's one of those things where money kind of just trumps everything else yet again.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you. I mean, but I would say also that there's, and this could be this is my anecdata. There's hatred amongst Latin American countries. They don't like each other. Like most other countries don't like each other. There's rivalries. I mean, I know the Colombians and the Argentinians don't get along. You know what I mean? On the soccer field, football field. I just feel like people separate themselves. That ain't us. Even though it's probably them. You know what I mean? I think the large wave of people being targeted by the United States immigration wise is from every country of South America, Latin America in general.
Yeah.
But I think people just say it's not us. It is you. You know what I mean? The treatment of Cuba right now, where Cuba's basically being starved out. We're gonna see what happens. I feel bad. I mean, but Cuba's not going to the World Cup. That's not one of our concerns there. But the treatment of Latin, Venezuela, what happened in Venezuela. So there's a lot going on. And is Venezuela going to be going to the World Cup? I mean, I have no clue. I mean, I'm sure they are because their de facto leaders are showing up to the White House. So I have to assume they're going to get to come. But they're also on those lists, those visa lists. And my next thing is what's going to happen. I think if I'm going to interject and say something, it's going to be like, is FIFA going to address the potential visa issues that people are going to have coming to the United States, because a lot of people are on that list of you cannot come to the United States. A lot of countries. I mean, I don't know.
Which is it's really, the entire situation is crazy to me, because considering the rhetoric coming out of this country, you would think that FIFA would like do something, like move the games that are in the US to Canada and Mexico, but they didn't. Again, it feels like a lot of it's driven by money, because we are telling people, if you come here, there's going to be ICE people at the games, but we're also allowing people to book flights. People are allowed to book flights to come over here and buy tickets to the games and stuff. So it watching it from the outside, not being, I would say I'm a casual soccer viewer, but not being that wrapped up in it, it looks crazy to me, because it's like, yo, why is anyone participating in this? It seems like this shouldn't actually have happened at all. You know what I mean?
Allow me real quick. I think this just facilitates the discussion and helps it our listeners and viewers to just get an understanding. So if you didn't read the show description, a lot of people just click on and watch. Thanks for that. But so we're here to talk about the world community is divided around attending the 2026 World Cup in the United States. There are those who understand the symbolism and excitement of the high-profile event, every 4-year event. The biggest sporting event in the world is the World Cup, bigger than Olympics, bigger than our Super Bowl and everything else that there is. The World Cup is the most popular event, and that's because soccer, or football, is the most popular sport in the world. There are others who feel intense anxiety over visa restrictions, immigration concerns around the usage of ICE agents. While millions of fans are expected, there are voices calling for boycotts due to United States policies. So, hence our discussion here. I will say that since the new administration came into the office January 2025, military action has been taken up on some of these countries, in Cuba, obviously Iran. We know that's going on right now. Venezuela was just a couple weeks ago. Rory has indicated that Cuba is next, but also Syria, Somalia, Yemen, Nigeria, and Venezuela. And when we look at those things, also we kind of threatened to take Greenland. Remember, we're just going to come take you. We're just going to commandeer you. But if you look at the majority of those countries, majority of those countries are people of, let's just say, brown skin, right? All of them.
I mean, if you look at the ban list, the president, the immigration ban list, the Trump travel ban list, they're all there isn't one country in Europe, I don't think, that was on the list. Maybe no, it's not true. I think like the Bosnian, the Eastern European countries, where his wife is from, were kind of like, I think one or two of those was on the list, I think. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I do think, because when you consider the world is like, is it like 6 or 7 billion people in the world?
There's close to 8 at this point.
Close to 8 billion people.
Close to 8.
Okay. No. So I just feel like, and I know the majority of the citizens of the world are of our complexion, whether they're Hispanic, whether they're African, whatever they are, whether they're Asian, or of this complexion. It's difficult just to keep those people out when we're playing a world game and we're the host, right? I mean, so I see it to be an issue, but with some of our actions as of late, since the end of 2024, I see why people would maybe want to boycott and not trust the U.S. system. This is the worst our standing has been perceptively in the world that I can remember.
It's been since Iraq, since the Iraq invasion, maybe around 2004, 2005, may have been the worst it was.
Wasn't at this level.
Yeah, this is way worse than it was.
Yeah.
Then. I remember it being like, oh man, people kind of hate America. That's wild. But now it's kind of like people have a lot of reasons to hate America. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I would back then, even as a teenager, I'd debate you about Iraq. I'd be like, there's reasons why we could, there's reasons why you could say, man, maybe the circumstances behind it were dishonest, but there's reasons why we could justify doing that. You can't do that. You can't stand on any of the stuff that's happening now. And it's made it so that, like you said, it's weird to me though. People should not want to come, but the stories are not, people are not buying tickets to the World Cup. The stories are, tickets to the World Cup are crazy expensive and people are complaining about that. It's like, yo, why are y'all Bama's coming to this? Why are you even buying tickets? They're saying that if you come, they're going to arrest you and put you in a detention center. What is wrong with you? You know what I mean?
I think the U.S. has a built-in, population of people that want to come to games no matter what. I mean, the matches are going to sell out.
Yeah, they are.
We had the Copa a couple years ago. They sold out to the point where they didn't have security. And that was a big thing. And I don't think the United States understands the security requirements to host an event like this. That's the big thing for me. And I think the other day, I think I saw Boston was drawing a line in the sand. And they were like, look, FIFA, we need this much money for security. And if we don't get that money, we will not be hosting any World Cup matches. And I think Boston had to I think they're the only responsible ones. I mean, Miami realized that they don't realize, I don't know. I think people are going to come, and if they don't get into those games, those matches, they're going to still get into those matches. That's a world problem. We've had that with the sport. And Copa faced that deal, but I'm saying some U.S. cities are realizing that very, very quickly right now. They're like trying to figure out, they don't have the personnel, they don't have the money, and they're telling FIFA, we don't have the money for the personnel, for security. You need to pony up more cash. And FIFA's like, nah, you have enough. And they're like, we know we don't have enough. So I think that's going to be the other thing is security. I mean, if you go to these, you might get trampled, just like people did in Miami.
I'm not going to them games, and I'm not taking none of them jobs. That'll be the worst security job in the entire world. Like Rory said, it'll be 200,000 Bama's and 4 security guards. All right, y'all, stand behind the tape and stay behind the tape.
And then,
that's what they're relying heavily on volunteers.
Do they know where they're coming? People don't volunteer for stuff here.
They do. I mean, if it feels like it can be, but you're not gonna get to watch the match. Some people will be on the field, right? Some people will be in the stands and stuff like that. But I think their big thing is they're trying to fill security with volunteers, and I think people know that if you volunteer, you're not gonna get to see the matches. You know what I mean? You're gonna be outside and stuff. you're gonna be part of the World Cup, but you don't get to see any of the World Cup. You're gonna be stuck outside. And I think that's people are figuring that out.
I think there has to be a heightening sense of a potential threat, right? I mean, it's prime for that. I believe the U.S. is having it in 11 different cities, different matches and stuff over 11 different cities in the United States. I couldn't tell you the date on all of them. I know it starts far as in the United States in LA at the SoFi Center on June 12th. First match between USA and Paraguay. But yeah, with the current, again, perception of the United States and all the things surrounding the politics and just the I guess I'd call it just, I feel like our American leader is an 18th century leader in the 21st century, right? I mean, like this isn't the land of king and queens and seizing lands and stuff like that. And I think that's how we're perceived. And I worry. I mean, personally, I don't think people should come. I wouldn't recommend coming. I wouldn't. But I'm not a. But if the Super Bowl was in Iran right now, I wouldn't go to that. Huge football fan, would love to go to a Super Bowl game, but if it was there, I'd like, nah, I ain't doing that.
Here's some free tickets, Tate.
Right. I think people should feel like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Like I'll wait till 2030 and see what's up. But
that's what I'm saying, Kevin. That's the thing that I can't wrap my mind around is that with everything going on and the combination of they're talking about these are the highest priced World Cup tickets ever from the bottom up. So not just the crazy expensive tickets, just these are the highest priced general admission tickets they've ever had. Why are people?
Well, doesn't that make sense though? That I feel like every year was probably going to be more expensive than the last. I mean, every World Cup because last one was in 2022. I mean, the cost of living goes up now with the current situation of the world markets and the fluctuation and everything being kind of
you would think.
I was thinking, but I think I don't think I've ever heard the narrative around the World Cup being, oh, no one can afford the tickets.
That was the case. That was in Qatar too. I mean, the prices were high in Qatar. They were so high people couldn't afford them, and then they realized people couldn't afford them.
And they had to lower. They had to lower the prices though, right?
They didn't even lower prices. It was too late. People, you have to make travel plans to get to Qatar.
Yeah,
they were giving tickets away, right?
They were giving tickets away to all their workers, people who were building they just gave them tickets.
They just gave
them flags. So it was like people holding flags. They're holding the England flag. And you from England? No. they was giving me here. Just to fill the seats.
And that was a big deal. I was in Qatar when they were preparing. This was like 2016. They were building a new stadium, and the whole city was getting ready to host the World Cup and everything. And it was a real big thing, but I'm not going to Qatar anytime soon, if ever again. But yeah, but that was actually going on. I forgot it was in Qatar the last time.
Yeah. I mean, the price is going to be high, and they're going to see how much money can they get out of people. People are going to come to this event. And here's the other thing, too, that the venues are so varied, right? Not varied because most of them are in the U.S. But the fact that you have options, you have 2 venues in Canada. I think you have 3 or 4 in Mexico. I think that might help people a little bit too, because they have options. They have, I can go to the Canadian ones. I can go to
the host cities, as far as U.S. go, 11 cities: Atlanta, Boston, Dallas, Houston, Kansas City, Los Angeles, Miami, New York. New York/New Jersey. Obviously, that's probably a Citibank.
New Jersey.
Yeah, Citibank, Meadowlands. Yeah.
Philadelphia, San Francisco, and Seattle. What I find interesting is all these host cities are all quote unquote liberal blue cities, right? So just by the sheer petulance and vindictiveness of our current leader against, we've seen him take on some of these cities. Some of these cities we've seen him take on. That would make me even more concerned now that I read that list. Like, to travel and go there knowing, he don't care about these cities. These are dumb democratic cities. Let's just go muck it up. So what are we thinking about the cities that they're being hosted? I say the only one on that list is Kansas City.
Miami.
I feel like Miami inside of Florida is still I don't think so.
Is Miami a blue haven? I'm not quite sure.
You'd be very surprised about
that. It will be now.
Those Cubans hate on other Cubans. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
No, it's been like that, but I feel like they think they've been duped, they've been fooled, they've been run amok.
We'll see. We'll see when elections come around how much they actually care about.
I'm saying that. I think Miami is. I think the 2 big ethnic groups that are there are Cuban and Puerto Rican, maybe Dominican. I'm not quite sure the others. This second, but I mean the Cubans, they want pressure on Cuba because they want the regime change to happen. So if
they're happy.
People go because they want a regime change. I can get that. I mean, a lot of people who say, my family got pushed here by the regime and
Castro, and
it's not Fidel anymore, right? It's a descendant of his.
He's been gone. It's still the family though, yeah.
And
I thought it was his niece or somebody like that.
No, but my point is they're still not. There's still pressure, right? What's his name? Canal or something, but. There's still pressure to get the regime ousted.
Miguel Diaz-Canel.
Canel, yeah. So there's still pressure, and as long as their regime's in power, they're in power, and people want them out. So Cubans are they love this. They love what's happening because Cuba's, I think it's about to collapse. I mean, just the sheer, sanctions, the embargoes left and right. Because I mean, they were working with Venezuela the last couple of years, and then Venezuela, that's been cut off. So I don't know how they're going to be surviving much longer. They're going to be next. They'll be next in our hemisphere.
That'll be Marco Rubio is going to be president of Cuba.
That could potentially be a thing.
He'll be the president.
That's not even a joke.
He'll just be installed as the president of Cuba. I'm not joking. I'm not joking at all. That's legitimately on the table.
Yeah, I mean, I think President Trump said at one point he was the president of Venezuela. I was like, oh, okay, is he? I didn't know this, but I mean, I don't know if he's saying it as a joke. He said he jokes a lot.
No, he don't joke a lot. He says the quiet part out loud. Those are not jokes. I think that's a misconception that many people have. Oh, he's just joking. No, he's not joking.
I can take it as a joke.
It's not a joke, Rory. There ain't no daggone joke.
He did say the other day he told Iran that if you are changing leaders, he should have a say in who your leader is. I'm like, he should have a say in their religious leader. I said, okay, well, there you go. I mean, was he joking about that too? I don't know. I mean, there's he says
he may have said it in jest, but it's every bit of his belief that should be a thing, whether it happens or not. He believes that the federal government should run state elections. He's not joking.
That's because he's very likely going to lose a lot of his power. So yeah, of course he would say that because that's what he wants to happen. He says the things that he wants to happen out loud.
I don't get that.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if he's joking or not. He's saying the part that he wants people to do out loud because he can say whatever he wants. Their fake measure of decorum went out the window when it became their person who was trash. You know what I'm saying? Who was the unpolished person who's actually unpolished, who actually doesn't understand or know anything. Rory, it is important to acknowledge that what he's saying, that what Kevin is saying is true, because like you said, one of the reasons he's there is because when people kept saying, hey, this guy's racist, he keeps trying to say the president wasn't born here, people were like, oh, he's just joking. You know what I mean? So like, let's be done with that. He's not joking. He's saying exactly what he wants to do. Whether he understands it or not, he's saying the things he wants. It's not a joke. It's never been a joke at this. It's clearly never been a joke. Agree
with Stephen. And what he says is not a joke. What it is, in my estimation, it's a litmus test. He wants to see what those on his side will allow him to get away with. Oh, they didn't make too much noise over that. I think I can push this thing forward and they'll back me up. It's a litmus test. That's all he's doing. He puts ridiculous stuff out there.
You said when I think Stephen was one of you talked about the elections, the federal government taking it over. And then, of course, I've read all that stuff. I'm like, I was always confused by that because I was like, isn't this the party of states' rights? Yeah. I was so confused. Like, it's like, this goes against your entire ideology. Like, but it's the whole.
Did you hear me say an 18th century leadership model in the 21st century? So
I was gonna say, when the ideology is we want a white Marxist state, really the ideology is do whatever we need to do to get that. There are no rules. We can have a perception of the idea that we have decorum and rules, but really what we want is that thing. We want a white Marxist state. We want to be able to have whoever we want in the top. And we don't want people who have skill or talent to be able to work their way up. We want to be able to.
I just like, like your constitution is based on a federal system. It's based on a federal model.
But they've shown how fragile it is.
If you don't, I mean, to me, the Constitution is is the sacred document of the United States. It's the supreme law of the land. If it addresses the need for federalism, then shouldn't federalism be the course of action of the governments at the different levels. I mean, but it seems as though there's capitulation. There's just, I guess, the national level taking over aspects of state levels. I don't know. It's very weird. That to me is like if you say states' rights, if you say states should be strong, then states should be strong. They should get to decide certain things.
That's what everybody else thought, Roy. We're talking about an individual now. It's not even about nationalism. It's about his ism. He goes past the Congress. Congress is part of the federal government, an integral part of the federal government. He don't care what Congress has to say. He didn't ask them to go to this war with Iran. He didn't go.
They voted on it the other day and they said yes. I mean,
because it's already started, and the Republicans, you use the key word, capitulate. And they don't capitulate to stay in power because they have no power under this administration. They capitulate to be adjacent to power. That's what we're looking at. They want to be next to the guy that makes all the decisions, and we'll support him as long as he keeps us here and doesn't primary vote, go against us in the primaries and stuff, so we can stay here. That's what it's all about.
And so, but the Supreme Court, trashed his tariff policy. I mean, they said, no more tariffs, Mr. President. That was another that fast, but that's the separation of powers
that was a surprise kicking in. It is. I mean, maybe they finally got
that is going to screw you, me, and Tate. You know why? Because the companies that had to pay tariffs are not suing him; they're suing the federal government, which is us. That's our money. So when they get their money back off the illegal tariffs, it's me, you, and Tate that got to pay for that.
And our taxes.
Out of our taxes. So it doesn't matter that they got rid of them. They still gonna go into my pocket.
Let's get back to the soccer aspect, and we'll wrap it up here in the next 10 minutes. We'll keep this pod at the 50-minute mark. So let's talk about the. Sorry. No. We all go there. The game takes you there, right? We went around the track and we got in that lane. I mean, because at the end of the day, the whole thing, do people come to the World Cup, is because of ideologies, and whether it be political or religious or whatever it is. That's why we're talking about this. Because I think if the world was more like sports, all inclusive, everybody accepting, playing good sportsmanship, playing for competition, everything is rooted in what the Olympics looks like or should look like, what the World Cup ideally will look like, all these things, we'd be better for it. But it's another interesting thing. We mentioned this backstage. The USA men's hockey team won the gold for the first time since 1980 recently at the Winter Games in Milan. Great, right? I'm happy. I root for those kids. And the president even one of the guys, not one on the hockey team, he just talked about how great looking they were the other day when they visited the White House. They came to the State of the Union too. But proud of those guys, right? Those amateur athletes going and winning the gold and representing their country.
They're pro. They're all pro athletes.
Well, I mean, okay, but yeah, that's what we do now. I forgot. But the USA athletes, but other teams have always used their professionals too. So it's fair.
Yeah.
But I feel like they went there. They have to, right? We're Team USA. The Seattle Seahawks, who just won a Super Bowl, chose not to go to the White House. There's been other teams that have chosen not to go to this administration's White House for celebrations and stuff. And I think it's up to each individual, each organization, and with just cause. I mean, Seattle in that region, the Northwest region of the United States, Portland, Seattle, those cities have been some of the cities under attack. And I think it's fair if they don't want to go, you don't want to go. But when you don't go, when you don't do something that our leader doesn't like, he attacks. That's all he knows is attack. He's attacked these teams, these athletes, not just the Seahawks, but in general over his history. But yeah, so going back to the World Cup, I feel like, on the field, you guys know who the favorite is?
On the field? I'm going
on the field, the betting favorite is who?
Is it Arsenal?
England.
Is it England?
It's going to be either Spain, it's going to
Germany,
be France.
Right?
Rory's good. You named You named the top 3, just not in order.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So who's one?
I would say one right now. I would say Spain.
You're right.
But
that's one.
France is 2, England's 3.
Who's their front 3? Who's their front 3 on offense?
The betting favorites in order are Spain, England, and France.
Oh, we're ahead of France right now. Yeah.
You're ahead of France right now.
Is Mbappe playing for France or for Spain?
Yeah,
he's playing for France. Okay, I know he's French, but his mother's Spanish, right?
No, his mother's from.
I thought like his dad is Afro Haitian, right? Like his dad is like French black, right?
No, both his parents are from different countries in Africa, I think.
Okay.
But he was born in France, so.
Okay.
His brother. Yeah, I mean, okay. Talking about the teams, and I think Stephen was kind of implying this is in are players going to boycott going to the FIFA World Cup, and I would say no.
No, they don't do that.
No,
I would say no too. Go ahead,
they wouldn't want to do it, but it's because it's more for players. It's more important to go to this event. It's their entire legacy is wrapped up in this, so they're gonna go for that reason and that reason alone. It's everything.
That part.
It's the very opposite of like US All-Star and like Pro Bowl mentality where it's like they're like screw it for them. If Rory's exactly right, there's so much pride involved in playing for your country that I get it. They're young guys, and that's the thing that I keep forgetting. These guys are young. They're like in their 20s and stuff. And they're like, like late. So for them, they're not looking at the world like that yet, at least. They're seeing it as this is my opportunity to play for my country in the World Cup. This is what I dreamed of. So they don't look at it like that. It's not. And I think even in American sports, when we see people protest, they're very selective about what they do and say. I mean, we've seen guys like LeBron be very vocal and then even have to like clam up when he said things that weren't necessarily things that his basketball daddy wanted him to say when he was in China. So it's like, it's very similar. I think being a young
for those that don't know, basketball daddy Nike.
Yes. Okay. Basketball daddy is Nike.
Okay.
Well, yeah, they're who told him you can't be saying out of pocket stuff about China.
That's their biggest clientele. So I get it, but the thing is, once you say something,
that's where the shoes are made. So like,
but a lot of the shoes are made in Korea and places like that too.
Yeah, but no, the point I'm making is it's hard to be even a rich it's hard. You can't it's easy for me to sit here and say, if it was me, I just wouldn't go. I would take a stand. I don't care if I'm the number one player, I take a stand. But like Rory said, the expectations of soccer players are different. If you're the number one soccer player in the world, it's going to be a story if you don't show up to the World Cup and represent your country. And it might even be a hit to your career. Like you may, it's that serious. So, I mean, I get it. I understand why people are doing the things they're doing. I just, for me, I don't understand it. None of it makes any sense to me.
The other big thing is I feel for the countries who are on the banned list and those players, and will they even be allowed to come? Like Haiti is on that list. Haiti qualified for the World Cup. Venezuela qualified for the World Cup. Ukraine's going through a war right now. Are they going to be showing up for the World Cup? There is a lot of things, a lot of moving parts as a result of world actions right now. And will they be able to even show up? And that's the next big thing. Well, I'm sure Haiti is going to get to come. The players, if they want to come, will come. And the other crazy thing is that this is the largest team-wise World Cup there's ever been. It's 48 teams. 48 teams in this one. That's huge. That's the most they've ever had. 48 teams.
Right.
So it's,
and I think too, Rory and Tate, sorry to cut you off, but I think ultimately what we're going to see is that all of this talk is just talk. because ultimately what they want is money. And you don't make money if you're running up in the stadiums ripping people from the seats, because people actually won't show up. They'll go home. And they're not going to do that. They're going to let them come. They're going to take all that money. They're going to let them cities get all that money. And then they'll find another way to mess with them.
I just identified the cities. Are they going to let all those cities get all that money?
Yeah, they are. Then they'll find another way, because they get paid off all of that stuff too, Kevin. They the ones who supply the foods to the stadiums. They own the companies that they stand to make hundreds of millions of dollars.
I don't think that I agree, Kev, to a certain extent. I think that the aspects of those cities make money. Like I'm sure the housing people, those are hotels, Airbnbs, will be making money. The city as a entity does not get the money.
No, yeah, they're gonna get hit.
And that's the thing what Boston is dealing with right now, where they're like, we don't have the money for security. FIFA, you need to pay that money. You know, we've agreed to host it. You must pay for security, because I don't think they have the money for security. So I'm sure all the outside periphery, like restaurants will make money, and tour guides, all that kind of stuff. They'll make money, but the city as a whole might get some money back on some taxes. But it's not going to be. It's not like people's like, here's city of Boston, here's $1 billion. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where there's no money like that.
That's just the cost of one day of war right now. $1 billion.
It's
one day.
It's similar. It's similar to the Olympics, Rory, where you see a massive shift of money, right? But then somehow the city that hosts the Olympics loses millions of dollars. You know what I mean?
They do. Like most cities will, because they have to create the venues for the event.
But
that they lose money.
Still make a lot of money off of it. The idea that you know what I mean? It's one of those shadow games they play where they're like,
the periphery makes the money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But they try to make it seem like, oh no, the city lost $17 million. It's like, well, what happened to all the hundreds of $1 million that were changing hands during the actual event? Someone made money here. You can't pretend like nobody.
Yeah, but the city itself doesn't make the money.
Yeah,
the city loses money.
Right.
Not necessarily
and that's what I'm saying. The guys who are going to make money, they're gonna let them come, because those guys are going to make money. And like
FIFA makes money on the merchandising.
The cities are going to take a hit. They're going to take a hit to all their budgets, because they're not going to be able to pay. Like Rory said, they're going to have to outsource for security, because they're not going to have enough security. They're going to have to outsource to manage traffic and parking. The cities are going to their hit they take is going to be in the impact that this event has on their budgets. But they're going to make money. The people involved in the thing are going to make money.
And that's how it works. People are in your venue, in your city, tourism, right? That's what it is at the end of the day. And they're spending money, and the city recoups whatever money they're getting based off the taxes, right? The taxes that the businesses earn, because they're making all the money. The hotels, the Airbnbs and restaurants and everything. As those entities make money, then the money is then allocated to them, and they pay taxes on that boom in profit, right? So they'll see something,
or even things like mass transit too. And I think that's going to be the thing for this area, Dallas, is the mass transit issue, because there's no mass transit.
Yeah, y'all don't have it. Y'all don't have it.
I mean, I heard they're going to be starting doing. They're going to do bus shuttles. They're going to be.
Do you guys even have enough buses? You can't have enough buses.
But that's what where these buses are going to come from. I'm sure they're going to have to, take buses from the regular darts to bring people from main city Dallas. I
don't think Dart has enough buses. Period. Their fleet is not big enough.
Oh,
they'll rent them. Yeah, they'll rent the coaches. They'll probably have coaches for various hotels. They'll have this is the one bus you guys got. It leaves at this time and this time. You have to stay at the venues the entire day. I don't know how they're going to be doing it logistically. They're going to pull it off, but that's money.
How in the hell is LA going to do it? LA basically doesn't have public transportation.
It has it, but it's not great. If they have it,
it's like
no, they have it. It's just they'll have to allocate, aspects of their mass transit. So people are going to suffer, to meet the needs of the people.
And this is a trial run for 2028 Olympics.
It is. Oh my God. And you know what? If you're YN out here and you really need to get some money and you want to work, go out to California for the World Cup and be an Uber driver. You will make all the money you need for at least a year or two, at least.
But hey, man, with that,
that's going to fill the void too here. Uber, probably.
I'm gonna ask you guys 2 questions. We're gonna finish up. The first one, they're both kind of simple because I don't know, right? Big name players playing for Team USA. Who are they?
Christian Pulisic.
I don't know USA players, man. I know the players that are playing. I know there's one player from the club that I like, Batiste, that's playing. Chimmy. I think he's playing for Argentina. I think. But I don't follow US soccer at all. I do like I said, I'm a casual soccer watcher, but I like Real Batiste. That's who I watch. So I know which player from that team is playing, which is one because they suck. But yeah.
Well, you're doing a lot of talking for somebody who have any answers to the question.
I don't know.
Well, you summed it up right there.
Okay,
I don't know.
There were 2 players. I mean, for sure. There were, well, I guess 4 players I know. 5, maybe 5. I mean, so there's Giovanni Reina. I played against his dad when I was in high school, Claudio. And he's playing internationally. Christian Pulisic, who plays internationally. Right. I mean, he's the best player. He's the best player of the United States right now. Then there's Weston McKennie. He plays internationally. He's pretty good. There's Tyler Adams.
What club does McKennie play for, Rory?
Right now, I think he plays like one of the lower level Premier League teams.
Oh, okay.
Don't hold me to. I think he might be playing for Everton right now. I don't know. I see him on occasion. So there he is. And I forget what team he's on.
Okay.
There's Tyler Adams, who's pretty good. I think he's playing in the United States again. He's back in the U.S. There's the goalkeeper, Matt Turner. I mean, those are some of the names. Those are some names I know. I mean, the U.S. team's been in flux. I think part of the problem in the United States is that the way they choose players. And the U.S. doesn't have academies. So it's all about the rich kids who get to play the sport for the most part. I'm not saying they're not good. They're good. But in the U.S., it's more about who you know than how good you are as a player, which is a sad. Now, you have to be, I think the U.S. has too much favoritism to certain people, and they put their money and focus on those players. I'm sure that, I played with great players when I was in high school, and somehow the people that rose to the top were people who I was like, that person rose to the top? How? And choices are made by, Team USA. But
Can I ask a question for Rory? Can I ask a question of Rory? Rory, do you think that the main reason the U.S. doesn't have international success in soccer is because there's no prominent league in the U.S.?
Well, no, I think, like I just said, I think the biggest problem is the way the USA chooses its teams. I think that they're starting at this moment, more in the last 10 years, 15 years, to kind of adopt some of the academy practices, develop players, get them out of high school, get them into clubs, and develop them that way. I think it should start a little sooner. I think it should start.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, so Rory, like if we're in the UK, for instance, and I pull a kid out of high school, well, the club he's playing for could be in the town that he's from. You know what I'm saying? If I'm in the US and I want to pull a kid from high school, if I want him to get real experience, he has to go overseas. He's not going to go through the ringer here until you build it up. Like you said, you have to build it up here, but I think that hurts you a little bit because you can't. Your talent, it's like in the 1800s when you had a son and you had to send him somewhere to learn a language that you didn't know. He's going to pick up culture that you might not want him to get because he's not there with you. I think it's kind of the same thing. You don't think?
Like you have to get the kids early, number one, to get them into systems. And U.S. doesn't do that, but you should. I mean, and that's not true because I think if you're seeing high schools now, they're really the academies. If you think like the IMGs and the Bullets, they're becoming that.
Yeah, you're right.
And then when they become that, you see the success that comes as a result.
The travel teams are the recruiting, are the early level recruiting, and
we're just behind in this popular sport, right? I mean, look at it now. Since '92, the inception of the Dream Team, when basketball really became super popular around the world has caught up. The USA doesn't win everything anymore. You know
but see,
I mean?
the USA, but the world had the academies already, right? So they just took, let's say they had the football academy, soccer academies. They just converted they said, oh, this basketball thing, and then they just made a basketball academy. You know what I'm saying? That's how they got caught up that quickly, because they created these. They already had it set. Oh, we could do the same thing with basketball. We could do the same thing with volleyball, and they just create these academies, and they just recruit those kids in, and that kid just learns. And then, the kids they switch between academies. They go, oh, this kid's not working out here at Barcelona, and that kid goes to Atletico, and they just kind of bump the kids around, and the kids become better or not better. It's one of those two things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kev.
With all that being said, right now I'm gonna tell you. I told you the favorites in order: Spain, England, France, Brazil, Argentina. Mm-hmm. Okay, so 3 European countries and 2 South American countries who could have home field advantage.
Yeah,
maybe.
Well, if it's Mexico,
if it's Mexico.
Well, they weren't in that list though.
No, they weren't. So
right.
Yeah, but they'll be closer to home. Proximity is what you're saying. Proximity.
Yeah, and the other contenders in order of in order Vegas order the way Vegas has them the odds, right? So those were the top 5. The next 3: Portugal 6, Germany 7, USA 8. So I'm going to ask you guys right now, today, this week starts June 11th. First game in Mexico, as Rory indicated earlier. Who wins the 2026 World Cup?
I gotta say England. I guess England, number 1. I guess England.
That interest is rooted in pride of country. I got it. I mean, but they have the third best side. So you didn't like pick somebody that's gonna, not be able to compete. Steven, what do you think?
I like France.
Like France? Okay.
I'm that's who I'm rooting for. I like Mbappe. I like Mbappe, man. Dude, come on, Rory. Off the last World Cup where he almost single-handedly carried, come on, man. Dude. I haven't seen a lot of soccer, but dude's the best I've ever seen. So I gotta root for him. He's the guy.
He got robbed. They got robbed for sure.
Okay.
He's the guy.
Just like everybody has rooting interests. Mm-hmm. And I'll be rooting for the USA, but we're talking about picking a winner, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick
You got to take the USA.
No, I'm not picking Team USA. I'm not rooting against them, but I'm not picking them. I'm trying to pick a winner here.
Okay, go ahead.
So with that being said, Roy, because you guys picks make sense. You picked the second best odds, Roy. You picked the third best odds, Steven. So I'm going to pick a dark horse. I'm not going for low-hanging fruit. I'm not that guy, right? I step on a limb. I stick my chest out. I'm that guy. So who I'm going to say, and it's because of fandom long ago.
Uh-oh. Brazil?
Roy read the room because the soccer player I know best, and I know other soccer player over here, Pele. When I was a kid, Pele, I used to play soccer. I used to say, I'm Pele. Like that's, you know what I mean? That's what you did. So yeah, man, just some of my junior high colors were green and gold. Shout out West Titans, our green and gold colors. That's Brazil's colors. So I am going to go with Brazil, but they have the 4th best odds. So I picked more of an underdog than you guys did. But yeah, I got Brazil, man.
You did. I can agree with that.
Who could have a proximity, again, a close proximity to home game.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I think, isn't Brazil on the partially banned list? I think they are. I think they're on the partially banned list.
Maybe they can finagle away, but I don't know. The president likes Brazilian women. He has appreciation for them. Especially young ones. But hey, man, with that being said, man, we're gonna wrap it up. Steven, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Nah, just thanks for joining us again. We'll see you guys next week.
Rory, anything from you?
Happy International Women's Day.
Oh wow, I
don't
know what day this.
Yeah, I think it's today. But
okay.
I don't know what day this will air. It won't be that day, but push the rewind button. We wished you one when it was going on.
You know, I mean, whenever it shows up, and I know it's coming up. Whenever it's coming up, so I want to, head it off. And isn't the month of March?
It's Women's Month. Yeah, it is.
Shout out. There you go. I mean, so happy month of the women. There you go.
Shout out to Women's Liberation and
thank
Rosie the Riveter. With that being said, we out of here. Thanks for tapping in JAG2G for this week. For Steven, Rory, I'm your boy Tate. Peace. We out.